Heritage and history are important pillars to any successful brand story. And while most of us may associate BMW with Germany, specifically with Munich, there is one very important place in South Carolina that is of extreme importance to BMW too. This, behind me, is the home of BMW X. Except that, if we do a quick history lesson, you might be surprised to know that this wasn't always the home of BMW X. Plant Spartanburg officially broke ground in 1992, and the first car that rode off the line in 1994 was an E36 318i. Another cool car followed, the Z3 Roadster. It wasn't until 1999 that the first ever X5 started being assembled here, and that car changed the course of Spartanburg forever. Here are some quick numbers today. Its state-of-the-art site spans an incredible 8 million square feet and features 3 body shops, 2 paint shops, 2 assembly halls, and even a press shop which was just opened this year. We got a chance to walk through the hall where the X4, X5, X6, X7 and XM are assembled, and it is truly breathtaking to see all the systems and staff working in complete symphony. In fact, more than 1,500 vehicles are assembled here daily, and since it was opened, more than 6.8 million BMWs have been assembled here. In the meantime, the plant is still gearing up for growth and expansion. As electrification becomes a big part of the BMW group, Woodruff will soon become a production hub for high-voltage batteries for the next generation of BMW EVs. The headline now is that Plant Spartanburg celebrates 30 years of being one of the jewels of the BMW group in 2024. And while this is indeed a big milestone, there's no question that the BMW X range is what we associate the place with. And so, it feels entirely befitting then, and also just super special that we've gotten the chance to get up close with this, the first generation BMW X5, the car that kickstarted it all at Spartanburg, and also the one that opened up the sports activity vehicle segment for BMW. Even if you're not a big fan of SUVs, beholding what was arguably the torchbearer of the BMW SUVs or SAVs that we know today in person is honestly quite the experience. You can imagine the X5 kicked up quite a storm back then, but today I think it's actually quite well proportioned, with its subtle muscularity, rounded headlights, and tinier kidney grills. Already, you can also see the extra practicality it offered back then with this large rear bench. Another thing I've always loved on the X5, and I don't think I'm alone in saying this, split tailgate. Just perfect for, taking your family out on a picnic or just enjoying a single life. This isn't just any old E53, however, it's the range-topping 4.8 IS, which is introduced as part of the mid-life facelift of the first generation X5, powered by a 4.8-litre naturally aspirated V8 engine capable of about 350 HP horsepower and capable of sending the car from 0 to 100 in about 6 seconds. This car also has larger tyres, larger brakes. It's basically what BMW would have referred to as an performance model if that had existed in the early 2000s. And my oh my, is it a dream to drive? I think it's worth noting that X5 has grown quite a fair bit over the years. And this X5 doesn't actually feel as much the mid-size SUV that it has grown to today. In fact, this is smaller than the current X3. So that just goes to show how much our definitions of mid-size SUVs versus compact SUVs have kind of gone through a metamorphosis over the years. I'm also not sure if you can hear it, but the V8 is just constantly rumbling in the background, and paired this wonderful 6-speed transmission, the power delivery is silky smooth. You can imagine that the X5 was quite a controversial car for BMW back then when it was known for its sporty luxury sedan. But honestly, driving this first generation X5, and especially the 4.8 IS in 2024 now, with analog dials, with physical buttons all over, I couldn't be happier, honestly. The ride quality of the first generation X5, I didn't expect it to be so good, I thought that maybe they would have had certain issues to work out with the suspension of such a raised and tall vehicle back then, but already in this generation, the car was doing a lot of things right. It has so much power to give! And let me keep within the speed limit. I'm really enjoying myself with this car. At this point, it feels like a modern classic almost. Our time at Spartanburg, however, was extra special because it didn't just give us a peek behind the manufacturing curtain. Instead, we got to take a couple of other special cars out for a short spin too, as part of an event called the Test Fest. Since we're on the topic of the global reach of the BMW Group, this little pocket rocket should be a great place to start. There's really no better weather to drive the Coupe Convertible in than this. You can really enjoy the always open philosophy here. Completing the new Mini family at last, the all-new Mini Cooper Convertible is proof that Mini hasn't forgotten about open-air fun. While it gets the same fresh styling as its siblings, one unique touch is that it retains the oval shapes of its predecessor for its taillights for a more classic look. It's really an endlessly charming car. This roof that it has can be retracted in just 18 seconds and at speeds of up to 30 km per hour. And if you don't want it all the way down, you can even retract it just slightly so it works like a sunroof. We like that duality very much. On the road, it's also endless fun. We got to drive the Cooper S variant this time round, which sees its 2-litre turbocharged engine producing 201 brake horsepower and 310 Nm of torque, good for a sub-7 second century sprint. It's not blisteringly quick, but it feels extremely eager off the line. And thanks to its extra suspension bracing over the standard Cooper variant, it holds itself nicely and tightly around bends too, with its responsive steering rack further aiding the fun. One important new element of course that adds extra sparkle to the entire experience is the new interior with the rounded infotainment screen running Mini OS 9. Here, the Cooper Convertible gets its own special feature called the Always Open Timer, which is a running counter of how long you've had the roof down. The other car we got to drive is a car you won't officially see reviewed until 2025. Designated as the technology flagship when it was first reviewed to the world, the BMW iX will soon get a midlife facelift. Again, you can't see the styling tweaks yet, but the big news this time is that the iX will soon land with more range and bumped up power to keep it abreast with the electric competition. Soon, you get to spec your iX out with an M Sport package for the first time ever too. To be honest, the iX had already served up tremendous power and refinement originally, and these sensations were also present during our 15-minute drive with the car. What we did get to experience, however, was the widening of its capabilities. On one end, a new efficiency mode helps to maximize range in the car by dialing down systems like the air conditioning. The difference is really stark and should help in moments when you haven't really planned your charging well. On the other sporty end, you'll soon get extra range of play in your iX if you want to push it to its limit. If anything, our time at Spartanburg has demonstrated not just the global reach of the BMW Group, but how it continues to evolve over the years. Though headquartered in Germany and thoroughly German, its strength endures today precisely because it's always had its eyes on the larger world outside. So there you have it guys, that was our time in Spartanburg, South Carolina. We hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if you've liked it, don't forget to like and share it, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on TikTok at Sgcarmart. Cheers! I can imagine that the X5, you can imagine that the X5 was a bit old. Arguably the car, not arguably, the car it feels, for now, that's all from us. One more time.